with Representative Shane Clacken for House District 37. Granted, is the June 18th, it's a Thursday, but he has been busy with everything from legislative meetings to other regular meetings, so we'll just catch up with him to see what June's been like for him. Good morning, Shane.
Good morning, Heidi.
You've been running. Well, you normally run anyways. You got a busy schedule, but June's been really busy with different types of meetings.
Well, been really busy, absolutely. You know, in addition to our semi-quincentennial planning coming up on July 4th, beginning with July 3rd, a street dance, been doing lots of other things, and just meetings, seminars, and everything. Like June 3rd, as an example, started with a water and data center seminar that was an online seminar and is informational. I'm trying to continue gathering all the information I can about the artificial intelligence data centers. And when I say that, I mean hyperscale artificial intelligence data centers, because we already have data centers in the state of Montana. So we're not talking about those. We're talking about the hyperscale, the massive electric use facilities, and the water requirements. And I'm still trying to find out what the actual truth is about the water requirements, because you hear lots of horror stories.
Yeah, because you hear different ones where they recycle water or they use fresh water. I mean, there's still all over the map on that one.
That's correct. You hear about the 1 million gallons in, 1 million gallons out in one day. Then you hear about the closed loop systems. Then there's other cooling systems. There's air conditioning, you know, and so on. So I'm really trying to dig into what that really means to us. You know, then June 4th was a Fergus Electric annual meeting, which I couldn't stay there completely for because the Montana Grain Growers Association meeting was up in Great Falls, and I learned something there. Don't trust your navigation device. You put in the address for that place, it takes you on the east end of town instead of where you're supposed to go on the west end of town, up by the truck stop up there. So I was a little late.
I'm going to say, you probably didn't make it on time, did you?
No, but I was there in time, not on time. Didn't miss much. Then the next day, got in a vehicle, rode down to Columbus with one of our county commissioners and went to the Montana Association of Counties district meeting for District 6 and 7. Learned a lot of things there, and guess what? AI data centers was another one of the topics. And rightfully so. It is a major topic going around the state and the nation. I got more on that in an article I'm submitting later about how many rejections of data center projects there have been nationwide, how this increased this year. Then, of course, I'm at the chair of the Civic Education Committee portion of Lewistown 250, the semi-quincentennial. And as a side note of that, I got to go watch the Judith Mountain Players do a rehearsal for that. And fantastic. I hope people really come out in droves and just come watch that, in addition to the other events happening. Like I said, July 3rd in the evening, a street dance in the morning starts with a pancake breakfast and a run. 11 o'clock is the parade. And at 2 o'clock out at the Trade Center, we have an opening ceremony. And as soon as that opening ceremony is done, we have the reenactment of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really good. So hope you want to come. And also, as a side note to that, on July 8th, we're going to learn what went into that Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. I'm starting another Constitution class, July 8th at Central Baptist Church. And that's going to go over in detail in an 8-week, once-a-week course to come and learn about all that. And now I got to get back on track, huh?
It's okay.
And then the 10th of June was over in Townsend. Skied over to Townsend, 3-hour trip for a rural summit. Was there on a panel of legislators, me and 2 others. And we answered some questions. And 2 hours later, I was out of there and back home, because the next morning I had to leave bright and early to go to Missoula for the Montana Republican Party Platform Convention, which I believe we turned out a really good, parsed down, much more precise platform document with 10 key principles. And when that comes out, when it's published, I'll make sure we get out and talk about that quite a bit more, because I really do think it is a good document. There's a lot of good conservative principles in there. On the 15th of June, I met with a local person with the Central Montana Resource Council and another person who is an AI expert. Basically, he works in the field of AI right here in Lewistown. That's as close as the horse's mouth as I can get. We had a discussion about anywhere from electricity to water, but I maintain those are solvable technical issues. I maintain the problem with AI is the AI of AI. What can it do that it is doing that we don't know that it's doing? What can we do to make sure it doesn't do what it shouldn't do? And how do we identify what it's doing? And from a legislative standpoint, what can we do to, when AI comes, actually, let's back up a bit. AI is here, whether we want it or not, it's here.
It is.
What we're technically discussing is a physical facility, but AI is here. So we need to learn how to make sure it doesn't get outside the bounds of morality, ethics, and so on, because it is a big deal. And also, on the 15th, that same day, right after that, right down there at my favorite coffee house, the Lewistown Coffee Company, I met with our future senator for Senate District 19, Chris Rendell. We had a nice hour-long discussion, and Chris is going to do great. I want to make sure that him and I are working together, and I've seen him at a couple meetings, 2 of them yesterday, in fact, that we're going to talk about here in a minute. And also that same day, I had a discussion with a state forester out in a timber management project I'm doing. We talked about all the things that go into that from a policy standpoint, and also just looked at our particular project, which he was very happy with. June 17th, it was in yesterday?
Yeah.
Boy.
I know.
Time flies. It was the Department of Commerce had a roadshow up at the Elks, and the programs within the Department of Commerce came up. The people got up and gave a briefing on what's going on in their programs. And one of the things that's going on is 6 of those programs are sunsetting. That's not necessarily bad news. What the news about that is it gives them a chance to evaluate the program, see how things are going, see what the data tells them, how these programs are working. And the good news is those programs are working quite well. And you can look at anywhere from what Snowy Mountain Development Corp does is they leverage things like that to help, stack grants to help make projects work. And our Snowy Mountain Development Corp is very well known around the state, is doing a great job in shepherding, stewarding, I should say, money really well on worthwhile projects.
Yeah, Snowy Mountain Development Corporation has several different programs that helps a lot of different businesses and people.
Yes, they do. And also, I want to put a plug in for tax increment financing. I learned a lot about that last week or the week before when I was up in Helena. I talked to the League of Cities Executive Director, Jennifer Olson, and she gave me a really good hour and 15-minute education on tax increment finance districts. And there is a senator back in Western Montana who wants to water them down or get rid of them. We don't want to do that. We're going to fight back because they work here. And for Roundup and Lewistown are really benefiting from it. So we don't want to lose that. The big event of yesterday that I was looking forward to and actually was able to attend was we had judges, the Supreme Court Chief Justice Corey Swanson and Heather Perry, the district judge here, had a gathering up in the courthouse, and there are a bunch of lawyers there and people who run programs and so on and so forth to discuss what is the role and responsibility of judges in our local area and the state and what their challenges are. The big challenge, big takeaway is they're stacked. They're backlogged. And I was expecting them to ask for a bunch of money, which, all agencies within state government do. But that wasn't their big ask. Their big ask was, we need to figure out legislatively how to streamline things and how to fix current code that is hampering their ability to work through their caseload in an efficient manner. And that coming right from the Chief Justice of the state of Montana Supreme Court, means quite a bit because he's got a really good picture on what's going on statewide. So that was a great thing. I got to talk with our district court judge here, Heather Perry, before and after that meeting. And also, as we know, Kelly Mantooth is our municipal judge here, and got to talk to him a bit. And Bruce Spencer, who was basically the lobbyist for the whole system here in the state of Montana. I've seen him a lot in judiciary meetings, and really nice guy, and he's really got the best interest in heart. I had a really important meeting, though, with a local constituent here yesterday in Lewistown about a business that she's trying to get off the ground in a more efficient manner. There's some things in state law that actually ties her hands a bit, and she has good solutions, and I believe we're going to be able to put those solutions into the form of a bill to fix, basically strike a short part and add what would make it better. And I hope we're going to be able to get that done. So we're looking forward to that. Today, I'm headed to Bozeman for what's called the Wild West Summit, and what that actually is a Article 5 summit to talk about the U.S. Constitution's Article 5 and how the amendment process for U.S. Constitution works. And there's 2 routes, and I'm involved with the second route, which involves states informing the federal government when 34 of us, 2/3 of us states, say we want to discuss the possibility of proposing amendments to the U.S. Constitution, that we want to try to make that. We have 20 states now, we need 34 total. So that's what that's about. Next week, legislative days over in Helena. 2 days, actually 3 days of just going over to Helena, getting briefings from the different agencies within the state. That's for candidates, and all representatives are candidates, because we could, not get into office, and so everybody who is a candidate comes, Republican, Democrat, it's bipartisan. And of course, I want to close with a big event of July 4th, or semi-quincentennial. On the committees I'm on, we've got work July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Second, kind of a set up bleachers and that kind of stuff, and the third is when we actually show up to set up for the things we're going to be using, what we're going to be doing. And then, of course, the big day begins July 3rd. And July 4th, again, I can't overemphasize enough how much I hope folks come out to the Trade Center and listen and watch the reenactment and the signing of the Declaration of Independence, in addition to all the other things going on out there. We'll have Native Americans come down to give us basically dancing demonstrations, and also they're going to have some teepees there set up, and there's going to be presentations on those. And Jerry Hanley's going to talk about mining and railroads, and there's going to be some trades of that period of time in the Trade Center. Lots of things I can't name it off the top of my head. But there's a lot going on, and we just really invite people to stick around Lewistown, go to the street dance night before, all the things going on the next day, the parade, and then come on out to the Trade Center. Yep. And also there's a typical ice cream social right after the parade, so please don't miss that. Yes, there's a lot going on, from the parade to ice cream social to I think there's movies out at the Trade Center or at the fairgrounds at some point in the afternoon, so there's a lot going on. Yeah, we're going to show movies out there on the big screen, and so people can bring their kids, and that's what it's for. This going to be a kid-oriented afternoon with things that they can do in addition to, we've got some movies showing. All right. So, Shane, we'll get you off to Bozeman, but anything else? Yes. I would like folks to know that they can reach out and talk to me, whether you text me at my phone number, 406-217-6107, or call me. I might not answer because I could be out of cell service, or I could be on the phone, or if I don't recognize the number, please leave a message, tell me who you are, and I'll get back to you. And I put your name and number in my phone, so next time I'll know who you are. Right. But a lot of times I am out of cell service. Yeah. They go to my website also, shaneclacken.com, and I do publish a newsletter every Wednesday, and I encourage you to come to shaneclacken.com and sign up for the newsletter. And also, if you take the Lewistown News Argus, I do have columns in there quite often, and those columns are also repeated in the newsletter. Okay. Oh, Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube too. Yeah. There's multiple ways to get a hold of you. Multiple ways. So most people know where I live. That works too. Yes. All right. And I will be right back after this.